Okay, so we've got this stack of 12 biblical verses. They seem pretty random, honestly, Genesis tax. But the mission for this deep dive is to use these specific verses to somehow map out the architecture of the afterlife described in Enoch chapter 22.
Right. It sounds a bit ambitious, maybe, taking these little snippets.
Exactly. But here's what jumped out at us. It wasn't just, vague themes. These completely separate texts, different times, different authors, they actually point to the single underlying structural idea: transition, separation, and judgment. It feels like the basic operating system for the whole biblical world.
That's a great way to put it, an operating system. And it suggests that the structure isn't arbitrary. It stems from what we could call cosmic division. And it's not just about punishment. It's fundamental to order itself. Think about it. The very first act in Genesis, separating light from dark.
Ah, right. Division as creation.
Precisely. And even holiness, the Hebrew Kodesh, its core meaning is to be set apart, divided from the common or profane. It's built in.
Okay, let's unpack that using the verses. How do they show these rules? Let's start with separation. We saw it in Luke 22.1, separating time itself, setting apart the sacred days for Passover, for purification.
Yes, a temporal separation.
And then John 9.31 draws a clear moral line, doesn't it? God heareth not sinners. That's a separation happening right in the middle of life.
Exactly. The lines are drawn constantly. And then there's transition. That moment of change often seems to trigger the next separation. Look at Genesis 12.5. Abram literally moves. His physical journey westward redefines everything. His destiny, his people. Moving equals separation and new identity.
And that transition isn't always smooth, is it? Acts 20.29 shows Paul's departure, his transition out, immediately opening the door for division. Grievous wolves come in.
Right. Transition creates vulnerability, a point of potential division or judgment, which brings us to judgment itself. It's never passive in these texts. Job 27.22, Ezekiel 25.14, they talk about God actively casting judgment or laying vengeance. It's a forceful action.
Okay, so if we put these actions together, separating time, morals, people, actively judging, you're saying the final separation of souls after death, it's just the ultimate expression of this same pattern.
That's the idea. It's the logical endpoint of this cosmic division principle that operates everywhere else.
So if that's the blueprint, then Enoch 22, with its description of the afterlife, well, it should reflect this perfectly.
It should. Yeah. Let's go there. Enoch sees this huge mountain, hard rock, and inside, 4 hollow places.
Described as deep and wide and very smooth. These sound quite specific, not just random caves, designed as receptacles for the dead.
Receptacle is a good word. And they form this incredibly systematic, almost legal taxonomy. It's all about separation based on moral and judicial status. First, you have a place for the righteous. Significantly, it has a bright spring of water. But they're not just resting. They make their suit about injustice.
Make their suit?
Yes, like lodging a complaint. The text explicitly mentions Abel's spirit still crying out for justice.
Wait, so Abel is still crying out. That doesn't sound like passive rest. It sounds active, like a legal waiting room.
Precisely. It suggests an ongoing process. Then the architecture handles the wicked, the worst ones, separated immediately by a great chasm, already in torment. Their fate is sealed. Done.
Okay, clear separation there.
Yeah.
But weren't there tiers?
Yes. Intermediate sinners. There's a distinction. Some are waiting for their sentence, already in pain. Others were already judged and slain on earth. And the key thing for those already judged and slain is they're contained. The text says they shall not be raised from thence. Finality through containment, not just waiting for resurrection.
Wow. Okay. Now here's a fascinating link we found. An 1808 translation by Charles Thompson. He didn't translate the Greek Hades as grave or pit. He consistently called it the mansion of the dead.
That choice is incredibly revealing. Mansion, from the Latin mansio, means a dwelling place, specifically one with multiple rooms or stages.
Ah, like a stopping place on a journey.
Exactly. Thompson wasn't seeing a vague underworld. He saw a complex, compartmentalized structure. By that era, Second Temple Judaism definitely viewed Hades, the unseen place, as having divisions, often separated by that chasm, like in the Lazarus parable.
So mansion fits perfectly with Enoch's 4 hollow places. The hollows are the rooms within the mansion.
It captures the architectural and the judicial nature of the place.
So wrapping this up, what this deep dive seems to show is that Enoch's highly structured afterlife isn't some random vision. It's really the logical outcome, the architectural expression of this deep biblical pattern of separation, transition, judgment, this cosmic division.
It flows directly from that worldview. And it leaves us with a provocative thought, doesn't it? If the afterlife, or at least this intermediate state, is a dynamic legal space where the righteous are still making their suits, still seeking justice, well, what does that imply about divine justice itself? Is it maybe left like a single final verdict at the end of time and more like an ongoing unfolding process, something to think about?